Thanks for joining us today on New England Living. I'm your host, Rachel Holt. Coming up, we're visiting Clark Farm in Carlisle to learn about the next generation of organic agriculture with farm manager Andrew Rogers. A lot of us will see that word organic in the grocery store, and we may not think about what's behind it. What is that process that goes into getting that certification?
Yeah, that's a great subject. So organic's a very important certification that people feel comfortable with. That this means that there's no pesticides on their crops or herbicides or certain practices done in producing it. However, some of those standards have eroded over time. And so while we're certified organic and we're going to maintain our certification as an organic grower, we have recently won the certification of a different program, which is the Real Organic Project. And I'm very proud of that. Not only does that have much stricter rules for being certified organic, but it also does a lot to protect our workers. And as you'll see when you're walking around, we have workers from all over the world, and everybody gets a good wage. There's a whole bunch of different criteria that we're measured by in taking care of our employees.
What are you doing differently here at this farm to earn that status?
It's peer-led, so it's another farmer that comes and actually reviews our farm and looks at all sorts of different records and actually interviews 2 different employees of their picking to make sure what we say is actually happening in terms of pay, treatment, hours, living conditions. But another huge difference with Real Organic Project certification is that everything is actually grown in the soil. What we're talking about is how do we keep fertility in the soil to keep producing crops year after year. And what's not allowed is just adding chemicals through a liquid form like hydroponics. That's not Real Organic Project certified. So on the market, there's a lot of products that are certified organic, but they're produced with different types of chemicals through a irrigation system.
Given that you're not using those artificial agents here, what are some of the techniques you have that make sure these crops are healthy?
Yeah, so luckily we have a great ag school at UMass Amherst where I send soil samples to twice a year, and they let me know what's happening on a soil level. But another thing that we do here is cover cropping and then rotating livestock through our fields. So once these fields have been harvested out in the fall, we bring in our sheep and our chickens, and they'll graze everything down, and they're gonna add their nutrients to our soil, which is gonna really produce some excellent crops. So when we talk about Real Organic Project, I think this is a great example about what they stand for. This beautiful blueberry bush with this tremendous yield on it. You see the new growth. The berries are really starting to blush. There's gonna be an excellent yield. And when you look in here, you're gonna see just a ton of different life and nutrients and a really healthy soil. If you look down into the soil here, you can see there's a bunch of the different soil amendments that we've added. This is seaweed that I've gathered over the winter, which we'll use as a mulch and to help fertilize.
I was not expecting to see seaweed here.
And if you think about it, in the ocean, there's every micronutrient that's out there. It's in the ocean. And in New England, we don't have all these nutrients naturally in our soil. For example, we don't have selenium. Tons of selenium in the seaweed though. We also have animal bedding from this past winter, which is full of nitrogen and other good nutrients. And if we dig down in here, you're gonna see all the biological activity from all sorts of wonderful nutrients here that are helping create this amazing blueberry bush.
One of the things that's been really fun to watch is the people out on the farm picking their own vegetables and fruit today. They're having a lot of fun, and you can tell they're really enjoying themselves.
Yeah, that's one of the benefits of the CSA here at Clark Farm is we put a big emphasis on people coming out and picking. So today they're picking strawberries, sugar snap peas, and then a bunch of different types of fresh herbs.
The CSA program not only benefits the people who get to enjoy the food, but it also benefits the farm. How so?
Honestly, I don't know how I could farm without the CSA model. We have very committed members. They pay for the entire season of produce in the winter, so I can pay for all my expenses, not go into any debt, and it's a guaranteed sale. It works out where they get a ton of different produce, and I have that financial security of that committed customer base. New England and Massachusetts specifically is the leading state in direct to consumer sales. People of Massachusetts are very committed to supporting their local farms, and you can see that here with all these members picking.
As part of his efforts to further advance the organic movement, Andrew also brings in aspiring farmers from around the world.
At Clark Farm, we host foreign workers through 2 different international programs. One is CAEP and the other is MESA program. 2 excellent programs that find people all over the world that are curious about learning about organic agriculture. And they come for about a year. They live on the farm, in the farmhouse with my family, and they learn the techniques that we use here, and they can use them at their farms. And likewise, I benefit from that as well. I get people who are highly committed, very good growers, work very hard, and they have a lot of experience that they can share with me.
One of those workers is Stephanie Garcia from the Philippines. You've worked on other farms around the world, Israel, Norway, Iowa.
Yeah.
How is this farm a little different?
Those farms are really big, huge, and most of the time they use machineries. Not the same here. We plant here by hand, we harvesting by hands too. And it's interesting because it's organic. My dream business, which is farming, I think it will help me a lot.
Camilo Vargas is hoping to bring his passion for organic farming back to his home country of Colombia. I can tell that you work with the sheep a lot because the second you came over here, they got really loud. So you work with the livestock. What are some other things that you've done on the farm?
You need to work with livestock, collect eggs, watering plants too, harvesting, transplanting. You have a lot of work in the farm really. I love harvesting because you can see the food in your hands.
What's your favorite part about working here?
A great experience because you can meet different persons, the different countries. When you take a lunch, you can take the different cultures, different ideas about the work. It's great because you feel the union with the other person, the other countries. It's important that people understand the work in the farm really is important for the future.
Along with the 4 foreign workers that we have, I employ 4 full-time local farmers and then a bunch of college kids that come and work on the farm, as well as high school kids. And all these kids are going to grow up and do great things, and they'll have this foundation of working on an organic farm to help them in the future.